black and white TV, 2 channels, and there he came on. There's a show called Spot On, and Mum's like, there's Ellen, like this, and then I'm like, and then she's ringing all the neighbours, put it on channel 2, because there's only 2 channels. But yeah, it was pretty funny.
Oh, wow.
I'm getting the surfboard AV, and he goes, you just said that you could only do 2 lengths. I went, done it, and then, all right, tomorrow we're going down, prove that you can do it. And Dad goes, he says he's done it, he's stubborn as hell.
Mate, the House of Byrne, how did that come up? Like, I know you went out on your own with the House of Byrne, which I reckon is one of the best things you've done, but how did the House of Byrne come about? Come the single fin nowadays, you make the winner's board every year, so...
Where the channels start curving that way, and then you've got your outline curves at that same point, so it becomes like almost like a hinge.
Welcome to the Green Room, your backstage pass to the world of surfing. I'm your host, surf MC and commentator Terry Tappa, diving into epic wins, crushing fails and wild stories with surfing's biggest names. So wax up, paddle out and join us in the Green Room, where the surf chat never goes flat. G'day folks, welcome to the Green Room. Born in New Zealand, today's guest is one of the Burleigh Heads' favourite sons. I've surfed his boards for over 3 decades. He is a master craftsman. His silky skills provide crafts of pleasure for surfers of all abilities. Younger brother of New Zealand legend surfer shaper Ian Byrne, Ian has surfed many seasons on the North Shore with some of Hawaii's greatest surfers and has shown his style and abilities at Burleigh Point in all conditions. Surfer, shaper, innovator, creator of surfing pleasure machines, now under the label of the House of Byrne. A good friend, a top bloke, and it's a pleasure to have Ian Byrne in the Green Room. Welcome to the Green Room, Ian.
Thank you very much, Tappa. A great introduction.
No worries, mate.
But yeah, thank you.
Mate, it's
to be here.
It's great to have you here, mate. Like, you know, we've known each other many years. We were just discussing before that it was you were on holiday when you came here. But mate, the early days, born in New Zealand, what was it like growing up in NZ?
Yeah, it was interesting because AB being 16 years older than me, I was, apparently a mistake, but anyway, you get that. And, but yeah, Dad was into the surfboard industry and he started with Bob Davies and AB. It was actually Rodney Delbo who were taught to shape by Bob Davies. Yeah. And my dad was a glass and all that kind of stuff. So one of my first memories around 4 was being down the factory. Mum dropped me off and Dad's like, just be good. Well, he's glass and that. I've gone into a sanding bay, came out screaming, covered in itchy dust. And he goes, oh no, and he's spraying acetone over me. And then Mum turned up and goes, what have you done to him? And then take him down the ocean, chuck him in the ocean. Because you had to have cold water.
Yeah.
Because it closes your pores.
Yeah.
And it was like freezing. It was the middle of winter.
Oh, in New Zealand, yeah. Oh, no. So, welcome to the surfboard.
That was my introduction to the surfboards.
But, mate, tell us a bit about your dad. Your dad's a bit of a legend besides making surfboards. Was he one of the first in New Zealand?
Yeah. He was actually, well, I was born in Gisborne and so AB and Terry, my oldest brother, were brought up there and Dad was president of New Zealand Surf Life Saving, and Terry, my oldest brother, he was New Zealand champion beltman, and Dad was he was really interested in surfing. He'd seen these old films of surfing in Australia and that Duke from Hawaii, and he showed this film, and he thought, I'm going to make one of them, and he made it in the backyard, and we've actually got photos of it. It's pretty classic, and it had no stringer. So when they'd surf it during the thing, it would go flat. So while they're at school, they'd put a Bessa brick on it to put curve back in it. And AB and Terry would fight over it and all this. And then the first nationals at Mount Maunganui, and Terry came first in the Opens and AB came first in the juniors.
That's pretty cool. And your old man, though, he was a bit of a legend before. There was was on the bombers in the Second World War.
Yeah, he's a Lancaster bomber and he's a pilot and navigator. So, yeah, it's lucky that we're even here because there's less than 50% chance every time they went out on the raid.
Wow, that's hectic.
Yeah. He was a good dad and taught us a lot like aerodynamics, which lead to hydrodynamics and all that. So very interesting, man.
And so, well, of course, your two brothers, Terry, obviously won the New Zealand Championship,
Yeah.
and Alan, like Al, mate, he's legend. When I went to New Zealand recently, you know, I was surfing Raglan, and they're looking at my board. I said, oh, it's, you know, an Ian Byrne, and I said, oh, he's a brother, Alan Byrne, and mate, everybody in New Zealand knows Alan Byrne. He's like a legend.
Yeah, for sure.
How's it been growing up in sort of semi-shadow of a ledge?
It was at times, because it was funny because I wouldn't see him a lot because he was always going to Hawaii or he'd be in America. And then he'd done a stint. He went in the Air Force for 4 years.
So AB was like a pilot.
Yeah, because it's
Wow.
pretty sad because like heroin era came through.
Yeah.
And he just went, I'm out. And because he had like a slight inroad through my dad and all that, and he studied really hard and he became a pilot and navigator, same as my dad, for
Wow.
New Zealand Royal Air Force. And he was actually flying around. The Prime Minister at that time was Piggy Muldoon.
And he was flying Piggy around.
Yeah. It was
If he
pretty
only
funny.
knew.
It was on this old show in New Zealand. I'm showing how old I am, and we had black and white TV, 2 channels, and there he came on this show called Spot On, and Mum's like, "There's Ellen," like this, and then I'm like, and then she's ringing all the names, put it on channel 2 because there's only 2 channels. But yeah, it was pretty funny.
Oh wow, so a pilot. And
Well, I was always very proud of AB, and
Yeah.
but yeah, it was very interesting being the younger brother. A few hard knocks on the way, as you've probably seen yourself.
well, you guys did a bit of karate and stuff
Yeah.
too, didn't you? Was that in New Zealand? That
No,
all
that
came? Or
was
over
here through Port Hellas, actually,
Yeah.
hot stuff. Rembican,
Yeah.
yeah.
I know a few mates of mine do that, Andy Penfold and that, and Red and that. Well, Red was one
Red
of the guys
was
who brought it out.
Rembican
Yeah.
as well, but H was like, he was such a great sensei, but yeah, AB kind of had upper hand on me until he got too old, and I could just swing my hand.
Well, like the young dog always tries to get over the old dog eventually, mate.
Yeah, for sure.
And like AB started. So was he shaping? Can you remember when he started shaping when you were a kid?
Well, I actually do, because I was about 8, nearly 9 years old, and he'd come back from Hawaii, one of his stints, and Dad, I was on a foamy, but Mum and Dad said I couldn't get a fiberglass surfboard until I could swim a mile of a pool.
Oh yeah,
And I could only do 2 lengths. And then I remember at that time it was school holidays and the Olympics were on, and I went, I'm going to do this. And I went down there and I actually did it, which was, I think it was
Sick.
33 and a third lengths or something like that.
Yeah.
And when I got out of the pool, and we had this, this married guy, he looked after the pool and all that, and he's like, seen that I was like about to pass out. So he gave me one of those lolly snake things.
Yeah.
And then I went home, went, I'm getting the surfboard AV, and he goes, you just said that you could only do 2 lengths. I went, well, I've done it. And then, all right, tomorrow we're going down, prove that you can do it. And Dad goes, if he says he's done it, he's done it. He's stubborn as hell. And
No.
went down there and I'd done it. And then AV is like, Urgh. And he was doing these boards, and it was out in the country. It was called Farm Fresh.
Yeah.
And he shaped, I didn't know this until years later, but he stripped down an old Mal.
Yeah.
And he shaped me this beautiful pintail, flat bottom, with a single fin in it, with the wooden one, and it had the red tears, like fiberglass going around it.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful board. Red bottom, 2 pinstripes on the deck and a white deck. I'll never forget it. But yeah, I was just like, I had this brand new surfboard.
So your first board was made by your big brother. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
And mate, now, well, you ended up coming to Australia, like I was saying, like the first time I think I met you, I thought you were living here, but you're actually on holidays. I said it was me and you and Wickwack's little big brother, was it, or little brother?
Little brother.
Little brother. We were in a heat together back in the day.
Yeah.
Who won that one?
I can't really remember, probably because I was fading you guys in like out in front. No, I'm kidding.
We don't know. I don't know.
We'll go you, dude.
Yeah, I know. Well, I reckon you probably did. Who knows, mate? But it was, you know, I remember you coming out here. So you were only, 14, 15?
14,
and so you'd come out here for holidays to stay with AB?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what would happen is he'd go, take him on. And James was like, God, take the little brother on, because apparently it was a handful, but I don't think so. I think I exaggerated.
Wouldn't be any worse than AB, would you, to look after?
No. Let's go with that. And but yeah, so I go over. I actually, because it was after I'd won the schoolboy titles in New Zealand and national titles.
So what age was that? The schoolboys?
14.
Oh,
and
cool.
that's when he took a bit of a shine to me, and invited me to come over. And Mum and Dad like, yep, send him away. And then, I had to finish my high school so that if I wanted to, I could go to university.
Yeah.
Made all of us do that.
And so you did finish high school?
Yeah, I had to finish it. So to right through to university entrance.
What were you going to do?
Marine biology, because I loved watching Jacques Cousteau.
Shark is never sharks, the fish.
Yeah. And then Mum, Dad, because back then there was a little bit of a stigma with surfers and that, I've never gone, not another surf bum in the family. But before they passed, sadly, they were really stoked I got into it.
Oh, that's unreal, mate. Well, you are one of the best shapers I know, mate. And so did AB teach you to shape, or?
Yeah, I was very lucky in the way that I had AB and also Nick from Mount Woodgee.
Yep.
And Gil Glover.
Yep.
And then I had Ronnie Woodward, and then I had Mark Ravage, Pat Rawson in Hawaii, and then Dick Brewer showed me a few things, and Mike Diffendorfer.
Wow, that's
so
a really
big spectrum of different people, and also another guy called Don Johnson, which is not the guy.
Not the actor Don Johnson, mate.
He is a guy from Hawaii, and he taught me a lot as well. So it's funny because every shaper is different, so you just pick up a little piece from every side.
I reckon that's done well, because I know your boards are just a great all-round thing.
Well, me and AB are a little bit different too. Like, he's a goofy foot, I'm natural, but I write with my left and throw with my right, and he throws with his right, throws with his left, but writes with his right.
Yeah.
So we're totally opposites.
Yeah.
And in a lot of different ways. But we're really good friends and very close.
So you started, you learnt from all those people, so you mainly started, Mount Woodgee? That's where you really started carving out the foam. And this is, ladies and gentlemen, this is the days when you actually had to get a planer, and you got a blank.
For the first 15, 20 years of my career, there was no, because I've been, doing it over 45 years now, so first 20 years there was no computer. And it's actually a really good skill set of having to get the plane, then template, and then so I still like doing that because you can just feel the difference. Like Kong that gets boards off me, he would know if I tried to swing a computer one in. He's like, nah.
Oh, so he can pick that up.
Oh yeah, and Jake, my son, who surf's good and that, and
amazing.
He just goes, there's something about the hand-shaped boards. They've just got this feel about them.
You actually do those for people that request them as well.
I also do that with the computer as well, as I leave a little bit more room than what most people to get it really close. They more or less have to rub out lines, whereas I still get it plainer out on each board just to give it that feel rather than it just to pop out.
Well, there's something I don't know, mate. Bottom curves, right? Now, it's all computer done. Now, when you're doing a bottom curve with a planer and all that, how do you work that out? Because do you have a template or something?
No, we had a straight edge, and you can measure it'd be the tail right from the tip, and depending on what length, say if I was doing a 6-footer, I'd be going around 2 1/8, and then say 12 inches up would be around 1 inch.
Yeah.
and then the nose would be 5.5, and then 12 inches back would be 1.5, and then I'd variate with that. But then a lot of it was just eye, but there, as much as you could measure, you would measure, but a lot of it was eye contact, and yeah.
So,
Because
mate,
that's what AB's thing was also, because you use your hands and your eyes. Sometimes your hands will pick up things that your eyes don't.
was that the hand,
That's why
eye
AB
hand
that-
thing? Yeah.
Yeah, because if you close your eyes and you feel things that your eyes won't see.
Ah.
Opposite way around.
Do you reckon it's a little sad that sort of skill of being able to make a board from scratch is kind of getting lost a little? I know there's still some people that do it.
Are coming up, but
Yeah.
I think that one good thing I have noticed is I've had a bunch of young guys lately ask me about that, and I think it is coming back to that again. Like I noticed, Shaping Code, his son, his boards have got that real 80s look.
Yeah.
And he surfs good, and they look like they're going really good. And it's got that hand-shaped look about them,
Yeah.
I think a lot of people too, like, are going to want just a boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, the same board every time.
But it's not the same every time because the computer wanders a little bit
Yeah,
too.
I know that too.
But it's just interesting with being able to do it by hand, because even with using the computer, I know every measurement that works to bend it, the next one.
Yeah.
So you can just progress from it rather than just being stereotyped, bam, bam, and that's it, and being a robot.
Yeah. Oh, that's unreal, mate, that you actually do all that. But
But it's nice that the young guys are really
Yeah.
taking appreciation to that, I think. It's
well, I
great.
think so, because otherwise it's a lost art, because, like carving those boards just by yourself.
But it's like
without
a lot
eye.
of things, you have IKEA, but then you've got these people that really want something traditionally made in furniture and that.
Mm.
And it's a lot of things are going back to that kind of natural talent.
Yeah, it's good. Speaking of natural talent, mate, in Mount Woodgee days, you've had some pretty well-known surfers surf your boards back in the day, mate.
Yeah. Hedgie there for a while, and Chris Daver, they actually both qualified on boards back then. And they were hand-shaped, and Kong, of course. And, yeah, there's been quite a few. And you had Buddo, which Nick had brought through, and then when he passed on to me, we had Buddo and Spancy and all that crew, and even Chili, he's a really well-respected shaper himself now, Chili Surfboards, and really nice guy too.
That's cool, mate. And those Mount Woodgee years, there must have been some fun and games there. Was it table tennis every Friday?
Table tennis, yeah. Reaction skills.
Oh, fun and games at the old Woodgee, mate. Look, well, just going to diverse a bit, and there's a story that I know that, mate, you went to Hawaii. How many seasons did you go to Hawaii for in a row?
12 seasons with AB over those years, but it wasn't every year. It was like over the span of probably 25 years, done 12 seasons.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Anyway, mate, I've only been once.
About that, yeah.
But on your first time over, what happened on the plane?
God. Well, I was going to stay with Mickey Nelson, and it would be Marvin Foster and all that there. And as we were on the plane ride, AB's going to me, the boys are going to put you in because of the years I've spent there, and I'll put you in. And it's like a really honoured thing for someone to do, the boys to do that for you. But if you don't take it, you'll never get it again, and you're not a Byrne. And I'm like, and I'm just eating this breakfast because we're coming and landing, and I'd had this muesli with this condensed milk, and I think, it's a bit off, and I'm like, I think I'm going to vomit.
No pressure, mate.
And then, no pressure. So he got me, I couldn't believe it back then, it was a paper bag to vomit in, and the AB's just got it like this next to my face, and I'm like, felt it come up, and the wheels touched, and I went back down. But that was the first time. I stayed with Mickey for about 3 seasons, and then after that was with Derek Diner and that.
And how did you go that first season, mate? How was it? Because I know Hawaii's pretty intimidating.
Actually, like the first surf, I thought, because I was riding AB's boards obviously back then. I had a 6.6 and a 7.6. And we surfed Sunset because we were based at Sunset. And by the end of that day, I was riding my 7.6 because AB goes, it's picking up. And he goes, you better get used to this. And I thought, we came in the dark, and he goes, you've done really well. And he's really gone. And I'm walking up the thing, pretty chuffed in myself. And I hear these people, because I'm thinking biggest waves I've ever surfed.
Yeah.
I think like 12 foot.
Whew, that's heavy at Sunset.
I'm thinking that.
Yeah.
And yeah, this guy coming home from work goes, see, so pick it up, man, it's 6 foot. And I'm like, what?
6 foot, and you think
and
it's
then
12
Ricky
foot.
Nelson comes around the corner and goes, what are you riding your 7.6 for? How big do you think it is? So I talked down, went 8, 10, and he goes, put it away, I'll wake you up when it's 8 to 10. Next morning, wham, opens the door, it's fucking 10 foot Hawaiian style, bro. Get your 7.6 out.
And like Sunset's
I had
pretty
AB
heavy.
and Mum Foster and Mickey Nelson, and I swear I sat out there for like 2 hours, just going.
Because
we were over and sitting out the back, and then I thought, geez, I better make sure, pretend I'm going to catch one, and it was a set, and I had a Hawaiian on each side that I didn't know, and I thought, this is perfect, I'll just peel back, and next thing I hear, there's AB, who's a crazy bastard, sit right in, and there's Mickey and Marvin going, go yeah, and then the two Hawaiians peel back, and I'm going,
oh no, it's exactly what Bro said.
What Mickey had told me, when you think you've caught the wave, take an extra 4 strokes, and when you take off, take up crouch because it'll lift you.
Yeah.
And this was like when if you have a car accident or something, it was slow motion, and it all happened. They reckon my eyes were like saucepans, but I did it.
Oh mate, so how big was that wave, you reckon?
Oh, it's 10 West Peak, which is
that's pretty solid. Like I've only surfed at 8 foot my size.
I remember Derek saying to me, go home and tell your friends you're riding 3-story waves, and when it was like 12, 15.
Yeah. How is it at Sunset though? Like you can sit in the channel all you want.
Race in the area of a football field.
But you can sit wide, but you're never going to get a wave, are you? You've got to grow a set of coconuts and go in.
Yeah. But I was lucky later on in the piece having, like, Derek just take me out. He goes, because he saw me, I actually got I got handed to, like, got a bit cocky, and dead set, thought, that's it. But got to the beach, and I'm like, cartoon things.
The birds and the stars.
He goes, I've got tomorrow off, I'll take you out. And he lined me up these things where you line up with.
Which not many other people are going to know about, are they?
Well, here's true waterman.
Yeah.
Derek. Yeah. Like, wow. Which I'm going to visit those guys in April. Which
tell us about that. You're going to Hawaii again?
Yeah, I just got an offer through, they're doing a tribute to AB with Derek and Tiger's son, and for Bernie Spears, and they offered House of Byrne to come over for American Surfing Magazine to do some shaping over there, I was pretty stoked because Daniel Jones, which is McCullough's Jones's brother, had come and seen me prior 6 months ago about doing some boards over there. So and I sort of had it in my mind. And then this just cemented it. I'm going.
That's sick. And you're going to New Zealand, bro, too.
Yeah. I haven't been back there for a long time. Better get my Kiwi going there, bro.
Oh, look at you. Got to come back with your full accent again, mate.
Yeah, probably.
Mate, where was your favourite place to surf in New Zealand while we're talking about New Zealand?
Matacana Island.
Matacana. What's that like as a boat?
It's very much like Stratty.
Yeah. Big beach break.
Yeah, just like comes out of deep water and poof.
West Coast?
No, Mount Wanganui, like on
West Coast. Oh yeah. So it wouldn't break that often, that place, would it?
It is fickle, but because it goes into one of the biggest shipping ports, they dredged out all the sand and so it does have a thing. If it's 2 foot at the mount, it'll be 4 foot there.
Oh, right, like South Stratty, same thing,
Same thing, like South Stratty,
Mate, the House of Byrne, how did that come up? Like, I know you went out on your own with the House of Byrne, which I reckon is one of the best things you've done, but how did the House of Byrne come about?
It came about because I sadly lost with AB. He died, and his son, Jamie Byrne, is a really good shaper, and Jacob Byrne, my son, we started making experiment with the curved channel.
Yeah.
Which because he asked me, what did you ride when you were a Grom? And I said these. And me and Jake were surfing up the Avs, and we were doing crossovers and having so much fun. And this friend of his, this older guy, comes up and he just goes, you guys should call this the House of Byrne. And Jake put it at me, and I went, yeah, because it just brings all the Byrnes together.
All the Byrnes together,
It's not just about me, it's about the whole family.
Yeah. Oh,
About
that's
my
cool.
dad, brothers, Jamie, Jacob, and my 2 grandchildren growing up.
Yeah.
Apparently the younger one's a rat bag like me, but I said, he's just got spirit.
That's it, mate. And well, you were speaking about those curve channels. When I was in New Zealand at my mate Martin Wallace's place, I found that board he had, and that was from Pihar or something, fresh squeezed or something.
Yeah.
That had the curve channels, but it had the curve going the other way. Yeah, both ways.
Bob Davies was, I got one off him, and I done pretty good, and I came second in the New Zealand titles, and it had the curve channels more like mine, but it splayed out that way too.
Yeah.
But my idea was just to have it coming in straight, because I've always done the straight channels all the way through. So rather than being curved that way, I wanted to be coming in like this and spreading just in the tail.
Yeah.
So it caused a ball bearing effect on your back foot. So you got all this lead up which draws water through.
Yeah.
And then it's just, let's go.
Well, I find with my curve channels that I've got, like, I love straight channels, but these things seem to be tighter in the pocket.
Yeah, that's the whole idea
tighter in
of
the
it,
pocket.
The tail rocker kicks like right where the channels start curving that way, and then you've got your outline curves at that same point, so it becomes like almost like a hinge.
Yeah.
And you've got all the lead up from your nose rocker, but then all of a sudden you've got this tail that your outline, your bottom rocker, and then the channels all just letting go at the same time. And it's like the more you push it, more it pushes back.
So you and Jake came up with you worked on it together?
Yeah.
Is that,
Yeah.
Mainly we started with the twin fin, didn't it?
Yep, we just started doing, we call it the weekender, and, you know, it was, one of my many injuries, it was to get me back in the water.
Yeah.
And a longer board, and it was just that, and then, but he's just kept on pushing me and going.
You need pushing.
Yeah, I do. Love it. And then he goes, let's just try it. What did you ride when you were, and that's where it came about.
Oh, that's
and there's
pretty
different versions I'm doing now. I did one for you with a quad.
Yep.
And then I've done one with a straight channel.
Which is
through
that
the
one?
middle.
Yeah.
Like that one. And and then I'm doing one now. It's just got 2 channels in it. And it's more of a fish one. So it's endless.
Mate, I found it was amazing with it. Like I've got the 6'3" one. I've got the purple one. It's a twin fin. And it's 6'3", so it's kind of mid-lengthy for me. But I find it goes good in big ways.
Yeah.
And I always thought, I'll surf it when it's bigger. But then I find when it's small, it still goes good as well. They really hang in off the bottom because of that pulled-in tail.
Yeah, for sure. And the rails are really pinched, like in that last part, and that acts like a fin itself. So, yeah.
Yeah, because that's what I
a
find.
combination.
Because everybody goes twin fins, they slide out.
Yeah.
You know, but they don't.
Well, I've had that many people like say, wow, this thing's like on steroids. It goes fast like a 20, but and I've actually had a few people have to tell them not to nurse it because or else it'll get away on you and it'll be like a runaway shopping trolley. Just give it to it. And they've gone, wow, now I know what you mean. Like,
yeah, because you can really lay into it off the bottom.
Lay into it.
Yeah.
If you don't, the thing's you don't surf them flat. You've got to really wet your rail.
Yeah, well, mate, they're a great board. I love them.
Yeah,
Well, that's why I've got so many of them.
Yeah.
Mate, Burley heads, mate. You've been a Burley board rider, like the single fin. Actually, this is what I want to ask about the single fin now. You won the second ever single fin, was it?
I think there was a couple prior to it, but it was the second one when they first started getting it really going.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
Which is pretty hard to win. Were you on one of your brother's boards? Or?
Yeah, I was actually.
Ah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and Turtle comes second. He's gonna hate me saying this.
Was Turtle on the Cole Smith
Yeah,
one? He was that same board.
He was ripping on it, but I was just so lucky. I got this barrel that just went.
How many times has Turtle got second? Oh, sorry, Turtle.
Him and Kong. No, I'm kidding. Oops. Love you, Kong. Love you, Turtle.
I love you both, two boys. Yeah.
But yeah, and then the next year, Polsey picked me on it, and then Rasa picked me on the next one, and then.
So you've got a first and 3 seconds.
2 seconds.
First and 2
and then
seconds.
a third and a fifth. And then I went, might retire, eh?
Mate,
No,
that's
what
pretty
happened
good.
is Bono owned the board,
Yeah.
the AB,
Yeah.
and back then everyone could ride the boards, and someone trashed it on the rock break
Oh,
and
no.
knocked the fin out, and Bono just went, no one's using it. And I couldn't find the board, and I was, I just went down. I was like, oh, well, that's it. Someone else's turn.
Well, that's like Parko. His board's been retired. The one that Clay gave him, the AB, that he won 3 on.
Yeah.
So that's been retired, that board, because it's
Where is it?
It's Clay's still got it, but it's basically gonna fall apart.
Disintegrate, yeah.
Disintegrate.
I
So
think
they
that
put that
was
way.
Peter Lawrence's old board, eh?
Wow. Yeah, because Piff. Everybody
Yeah,
rode
Piff.
the AB. It was
Yeah.
like, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Now, come the single fin nowadays, you make the winner's board every year. So that must be a
They're
pleasure
drinking
and an
beer
honour.
of it now.
There's what?
They're pouring beer down there now.
Yeah, oh yeah, I know. Sculling off the channel. Was that Champ's idea?
No, it was actually Toby Mossop and Liam O'Brien. Like Liam was over in Hawaii, and I talked to Toby, and he goes, "Yeah, we were talking about it, and going, should just pour beer down the thing." And then I'm like, they got me to do it, and I'm just going, "Wow, how's the hydrodynamics?" And then, wham! I'm like,
So it's a channelly, not a shoey. It's a channelly.
It's a channelly. But
That's pretty cool. But mate, it must be an honour to make the board every year,
so
mate.
is. And the boys, that's the thing is, me going out doing the House of Byrne, with Burley board riders have been so behind me, and it just means the world to me. Like, it's such a solid club, and everyone just looks after each other. It's remarkable, actually.
But the thing is, Ernie, there's one thing you say, the boys look after you. You make a damn good surfboard,
Well, actually,
so
I had
that's
one of them
why.
go, well, we do like you, but we wouldn't be getting your boards off if they didn't go.
If they went shit, yeah.
Yeah, but it is, the support's been remarkable.
Mate, those boards are an amazing piece of work. And, Parko's had 3 of them. I think he gave one to Clay, the guy who lent him the AB, but he's got 2 of them. And
He got barreled off his head, and he sent me the footage. He rang me, and he goes, he was so frothed out. He goes, I just got the best barrel, and it was at Kerro, and you've seen the footage.
yeah, it's
Just
crazy.
got So then he goes, wow. And he actually said to me, he goes, I don't know if I would have, because the single fin with the forward thing, it climbed over the foam ball. And, but Parker, let's face it, he could surf.
Fence paling with a nail for a fin.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But he's really nice. He
Mate, if
said
he's
amazing
ringing you up,
wave
frothing
and
you
everything.
about it.
Yeah, and he said, mate, and he goes, when he posted it, he just put, amazing wave, incredible surfboard. And I was like, yeah, thanks, mate.
And that's his trophy board. It's pretty cool that they
Meant a
surf
lot
the
to
trophy
me.
board, mate.
Yeah.
That's
That's what they're made to be.
Yeah.
I don't want to be sitting up in the thing. A surfboard would start crying, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's
Sitting
what I
up on the
reckon.
wall.
Yeah. Well, I have yours in display around my house, but they've all got wax on them, and they've all been surfed. They're all, that's what boards are meant to be.
Yeah, they can be a display, but they've still got to be, that's what they're made for.
Yeah, you got to surf them, mate.
Yeah.
And well, mate, you surf Burley since you're 14, 15. What's the change you've noticed at the point? The point's still the same, basically, but the surroundings have
I
changed?
just noticed that, I don't know if it's since the pumping, but even if you start walking up the headland, you notice the sand, instead of it used to wrap and come, like, it used to build, when it come towards a swimming pool, and you just see it start dropping down and be sand going like this.
Yeah.
But if you walk up towards the head and go up the track, you actually watch the sand and it goes sweeping out that way.
Yeah, it goes a bit wider nowadays, yeah.
And there's times it starts coming back in. But you know what? Burley always goes through those cycles where you think it's gone and all of a sudden it comes back in because there's so much movement with sand and everything like that.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing shots I've seen of you back in the day and seeing you in a barrel when I've been out there.
Yeah, you too. But, like you look at Snapper wasn't really, when I first came here.
Wasn't a thing.
Not really, and it was Kira.
Yeah, it was all
and
Kira.
And then that changed Kira when they done that sand pumping thing, and Snapper became away.
Well, I used to surf Cooley Beach
so I think
breaks.
it did change a lot of that kind of,
Yeah. Because as Rabbit said to me, like, Burley was the place.
Yeah.
Burley was the place, not Greenmount. Well, Kira was really good, but Kira didn't break as much as Burley. Burley was bigger.
Last time, and that was before my last surgery, was when Billy Watson, which loved that guy.
Oh, I saw that.
And he took me out on cycling at home, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was watching on the point. It was massive.
Yeah, and I was about to go and had surgery. I had pins driven through the bottom of my foot, and everyone's going, "No, you shouldn't do it." And I'm like, if I don't do that, I'm going to regret this for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And, Billy
You got the biggest barrel, man. Yeah, it was like... It was, Matt, you had a life jacket on too, and you had Billy Watson with you, who's like the king.
There's two other jet skis making sure that I wasn't going to drown. But I remember coming in, Toby and Liam, and they were going, and I'm like, I just had adrenaline.
For hours, I think, didn't you? I saw you. I think I saw you 3 hours later, and you were still going. Zzz.
Oh, I remember when I came out of surgery, and Paul Colley's waiting for me. And we're getting wheeled down thing. I'm just coming out of anaesthetic. And they're going, I heard that you surf Burley. And I went, yeah. And I was like, and they're going, Crumb was good. And I went, nah, it's fat. And I went, Crumb, Carreritas. I went, that's even fatter. And then it was a male nurse, and he goes to the female nurse, goes, Burley boy, don't even bother. And then wheeled me in and went to Kylie, is this yours? She goes, unfortunately. And she goes, we could hear you up the end of the thing, and I'm like,
you've got spirit, mate.
Yeah.
You've got spirit like your grandkids. Mate, what's the future going to hold for Ian Byrne and the House of Byrne, mate? Besides, well, I know you're going to Hawaii and doing that shaping there. Are you looking to innovate anymore? One day at a time?
Yeah, and just always evolve or perish. I just want to keep trying new stuff.
And you got Jakey there probably prodding you a bit too, because I've noticed some of your other twins.
He's like my nemesis, like. And it doesn't go that good. And then I go, oh, well, give it back. And that, oh, no, I kind of like it now. I'm like, wow. But he goes, well, I've got to, push you to the thing and can't give you all, credit all the time.
Yeah.
Thing. And I'm like, nemesis.
But, mate, he's the one that's pushing to do the performance twins too. I got one of your performance twins, and they go unreal, but they're a different thing.
I don't want to just be set as this kind of shape. I still like doing my Black Hawks, which is a single double concave, high performance board. Then I'll do the traditional. I even done a 6-channel mouth for this guy not so long ago, Austin. He actually charges jaws and that, but he had a hopped out shoulder. And he loves it. And why just put yourself in one thing?
You're not a one-trick pony.
Nah. And it's exciting to try something different. I get real buzz out of that. Someone throws something at you and you go...
Well, it's like someone threw the quad thing at you, didn't they?
Yeah.
And I said, yes.
Silky Ben Silk.
Yeah.
And he was at G-Land, and I did him a 6'9", and so he could ride it as a twin or a quad, and he said he'd ride it at Geeland till 4 feet as a twin, and then he said it got to 8 to 10, and you know, silky charges.
Yeah.
And he was taking it off at Kongs, and everyone was mainly taking off at Money Trees. And he said he was getting that much speed on it, and he was like doing 50-metre bottom turns, and he came around,
Wow.
just yelled, and everyone was like, where'd
he come from?
And then just stamped on it and put the brakes on. And he goes, yeah, it was like the twin fin on steroids.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's good. Mix it up.
Yeah, so different ideas.
Sometimes
Yep.
I've done things and gone, oh, I don't know about that. And then sometimes it can be out of a mistake, and it works.
That's
you know,
awesome.
Which is good.
And mate, I got to let you give a compliment too to your glass of Tappa, mate.
Oh,
How
yeah,
good, mate.
Tappa,
And he makes these colours and everything,
Unbelievable, like Taka's quality. My Japanese friend, and you got Marcel, who, like, brilliant sander and all that.
That makes a big part of the board.
It's a big team. Without them, I'm nothing. Like, you know.
Because your sander's a big part of your edges, isn't
the
it?
whole bit. And the glasses what it is shaper makes it easier for the glasser. The glasser makes it easier for the sander. If it happens the other way around, then it's like when you're building a house, your foundation's not right, it makes it harder for the next stage. All this, but if you get that all, and we're all open, like I say to Tack, if something's I'm doing it's making it hard, I've wandered, you tell me.
Yeah.
And we're all open, and if something that he's done, I'll tell him, and then, or Marcel will tell him about to make it easy for his sanding.
Yeah.
And then it becomes a full team.
Well, it is, mate. The House of Byrne's a great team, and you know, like Dale's kind of part of that as well.
Dale, for
you
sure.
know.
And Jamie Byrne, you know.
Yeah, so everybody's...
But Dale, for sure, you know, he's kept Bernie Spears 100% alive and all that, so...
What do you think about his shaping? Has he got what AB was doing? Has he got
yeah, 100%. Like, it's like I look at it and he's redefined it, and yeah, he's a great shape in his own right, you know.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah, and good human.
Yeah, mate. Well, you're a great human, mate. Thanks for coming on the Green Room, Ian. Hey, it's a pleasure, brother.
Pleasure. Woo.
Yeah. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Ian Byrne. If you want a good board, go see this lad. Thanks for tuning into the Green Room. A big thank you to our guests for sharing their stories and insights, our producer Sarah, and Podfire for bringing this podcast to life. Don't forget to subscribe, like, leave a review, and share the Green Room with your friends. We'll catch you next time for more conversations with the legends of surf and beyond. Until then, catch you in the waves.